Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family and colleagues, hi there. My name is Babalo Mafeta from the South African chapter of the Female Wave of Change. We pride ourselves as agents of social change. We believe in creating awareness that stories do matter and that we need to share our stories to firstly heal ourselves and to inspire others as well. So remember that all stories do matter. So today we are going to take a look at the history of the South African chapter. And joining me, I have got none other than Tebello Mochema, who was actually the mastermind of the South African chapter. Tebello, welcome.
Thank you, Babalo. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and happy Mother's Day. I'm Tebello Mochema. I've been involved with Female Wave of Change South Africa chapter since its inception in March 2018. Oh, that was such an awesome day that we had, Babalo, and for me it was a dream come true because we were launching a global organization here in South Africa, and having to connect with people like yourselves in North Africa, with our friends and colleagues that were in the States and in Europe. I just thought, wow, this is awesome. And the audience that we had in the room on that day, it was really a wonderful experience that we had.
Yeah. And I remember just being glued to my screen for 24 hours because now we went hour by hour from different countries. How did you pull that one through?
I don't know. It was really through the connection and work with other people in pulling that together. I had been approached in October 2017, to consider being part of this organization. And because we were going to be having the International Women's Day in March 2018, we thought that would be a wonderful day to be able to launch the organization in South Africa. And between October and March, it was really a lot of hard work and putting minds together and pulling people who were like, what are you talking about? And just saying to them, come with me and we're going to make this a success.
What support did you receive at the time? And you may even take us through some of the challenges that you went through, because it couldn't have been easy to pull a movement like that.
Thank you, Babalo. Yes, indeed, there was so much really that happened. But what triggered that for me was getting involved with a global women movement, right? A movement that was bringing women together so that they can be able to acknowledge themselves. So that they can be able to acknowledge their feminine energy. That really just, interested me. And also a movement that brought women from all walks of life. I really loved, that concept that when we get together as women from all walks of life, we're able to then bring our positive energies to be able to make a change in the world. And I was also encouraged by knowing that we would have women where we'd be able to converse about the opportunities that we as women have in terms of being able to change the world, and less about talking about men and crying about men and being upset, but really around saying, what is it that we can do as women? And lastly, what triggered that for me had really been a call from my mentor, Tina Thompson, who is, a South African who now lives in the States, when she called me and said, we're looking for somebody to help us start the movement in South Africa. And I said to Tina, why not? Why not?
Mentorship.
Absolutely.
Mentorship all the way,
And in the process, you asked the question, who supported me? Tina first, I will say my sisters, my friends, and my colleagues, and more importantly, the leaders from the organization. Ingun and Renee and you, Babalo, when you came into the board, and other leaders of the organization, I just realized we have a powerful global movement here, and I could pick up the phone, or I could send a WhatsApp, or I could send an email at any time to anyone asking them what to do, how do we do it, why do we do it this way. And the one thing I remember Ingun indicated was that this is your movement. Make it what you need to make it, to be in South Africa. And so with all of that, we were then able to get to the March 2018, launch, where we had over 50 women in a room who then were interested to come and learn about this organization. Yeah. And it was a wonderful afternoon. And as you said, to also be able to connect with other women from across the world, because the event was not only a South Africa event. We had events in the States, we had events in the Netherlands, in Australia, and that's when for me it became true that we are part of a global organization.
Wow. I remember that day, like I said, just like it was yesterday. But now let's move from 2018 to 2019, the first conference for the organization.
Indeed.
Talk us through that. It must have been such a moment for you.
Indeed it was, Babalo. I think it was not only for me, but also the team that was with us at that time. I remember when we had a meeting with Ingun, and she was saying, I'm thinking of having a global conference. And I said to Khomotso then, who we were working quite closely with, Khomotso Mashalani, most of you will remember her as also having stood up in the role of being ambassador for South Africa. So I said to her, Khomotso, we're going to make this thing happen. And she looked at me like, are you crazy, woman? Yeah. I said, this is why we are women, we make it work. And from, putting the concept together, putting the proposal together and sending it to the global office and, to the event taking place, we had a lot of, excitement in the country, in the world about, the conference taking place. We had some challenges as well.
Yeah.
The financial challenges, like any event of that kind of magnitude. I mean, our target was 250 women from across the world. I was quite impressed that we were close to that number. Yeah. We were very close to that number when the conference took place. So being able to bring all of these women together, being able to bring old women, young women, corporate women from the corporate world, women, from school, young ladies, NGO leaders, all sorts of, people that we're able to get on that day, to be able to have Griselda Kananda with us, sharing her story in terms of her life story, to have Mami Vaughan sharing her story, having only met Mami Vaughan when we launched, in March 28, and we're having her playing a big role for the conference in October 2019. So it was really a massive achievement, not only for me, not only for the team, but also for the whole country, I believe. Yeah. Because it will always be in the book. So the story of South Africa will always include that the first global conference of the Female Wave of Change was held in South Africa.
It's never too late to congratulate you still on that huge achievement. Thank you so much, Tibelo, and we wish you all of the best. We know that you have now moved to bigger and much more fulfilling roles in your life, but you'll always be remembered as the glue of the South African chapter Female Wave of Change organization. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Babalo, and this is truly a movement that I will continue to be part of.
Our second guest on the list for the South African chapter Female Wave of Change story is none other than Dr. Lumka Maneli. Lumka, how are you?
I am very good, thank you, Mama, and thank you for having me here. Afternoon, morning, evening to everyone out there.
I remember bumping into Lumka at OR Tambo International Airport in December of 2018. And just so excited about the movement that our former speaker Tibelo had just linked me up with. And that was all I spoke about, I think, in the hour or so that we were together.
Yes.
Yeah. So then Luca gets invited to our first conference in September 2019. Take us through your journey, Luca, from that time to date.
So firstly, I think I also just need to point out what happened to me as I was attending the conference, because I've attended women conferences before, and then what was different about this one, it was called to action.
Yeah.
So the word action, it was said over and over again, and it was not just said. I remember as we were closing the conference, I remember I'm there as a guest, and I'm just introduced to everyone, and I'm excited to be interacting with women from all over the globe. And then I think the last session was now on women having to stand up and share what the initiatives, or share what they're working on, or share their struggles, and say the kind of support that they need. So it was not just talk and talk, because the women will stand up and share exactly where they are in their own journeys, and what are the hurdles and challenges that they are facing, and what kind of support they require from other women. And instantly women were standing up. During that moment, women were standing up to say, this is what I pledge.
Yeah.
This is what I pledge for your journey. And for me, that was powerful. And I knew that I was whole.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Luca Manelli is currently one of our board members globally, and a member of our health pillar as well within the movement. What are some of those critical roles, Luca, that you bring, to the movement, especially with your current role?
I think with my current role as the board member is also understanding what I love about the movement also is that it starts with self, because even for me after joining, it was self-discovery. You start to understand that before you try and be a hero or heroine for the world, you have to start be that for yourself. And then here comes the health pillar also preaching also the self-care.
Yeah.
So I think when you gel these together, the fact that you need to be able to find within, we have the program Women Leading in Change, where you deep down to yourself and bring out even those qualities that you didn't even know that they existed. And I think even within that, sometimes we always say we can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
But sometimes I also think that sometimes the cup is not even empty. It's because we don't recognize the value that's within that cup. Because we look at the cup, we see scars, we see previous hurts, we see challenges and struggles. And what we don't understand, or maybe what we have not learned, is the fact that it's through those things that we see as negative that we are actually able to transform other people. So it's through us telling those stories. And I love it because we're always encouraged to tell our stories. And when we tell our stories and we tell the difficulties that we're facing, not only just the beautiful things, so this is not a platform where people come and shine only about all the good things. We bring the good and the bad, and there's no judgmental whatsoever. But we learn from each other's experiences, and we continue to support each other. So this is a platform of sisterhood and solidarity all the way.
Thank you so much, Luca. You make it sound so easy, the integration, but I know that where you find women together, action happens. So I'm very grateful to you having made the time to come and join us for this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I think I just want to stress once more that this is an organization where we look at collaboration over competition. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our third guest today is Ms. Natasha Pillay. She is our brand new ambassador for the South African chapter of the Female Wave of Change. She took over the reins in March of 2022. Natasha, welcome. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Please take us through what made you, agree eventually to take over as the ambassador of the South African chapter, and just how you see your role, your leadership role, unfolding as we move forward.
Okay, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone. worldwide and in South Africa. I'd firstly like to say thank you to Tebelo, our previous ambassador. I'm a little bit anxious because I know I've got some big shoes to fill in and to follow. What got me to choose the role of becoming the next ambassador was having many discussions with Tebelo, with Lumka, and more so because I'm aligned to the values and the mission of Female Wave of Change. For me, that speaks to who I am and my innate values. It's about serving humanity and making a difference in the lives that we touch. So for me, that was, yes, I'm on board. So I'm filled with gratitude, very much so, because we have an opportunity to serve. And I get to serve our members, our chapter, and the communities. It is also a role that requires a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, humility, and to create an environment in which we give others the platform to lead. So stepping into this role, my aim is to step into the role with servant leadership, and very much to follow those values wherein we as the chapter and myself, it's to encourage diversity of thought, to foster leadership in everyone, and to create an environment wherein we all feel safe. So in terms of where I see the chapter going, you've heard from Tebelo and from Lumka. South Africa is known globally within the Female Wave of Change community. And within the South African chapter, we have brought forth thought leadership, innovation, creativity, professionalism, and passion. So globally, we are actually looked at as a leading chapter. And for us within the South African chapter, it's about taking that and sharing our stories with South Africa itself and with the African continent. Amongst the membership, we have so many success stories with lots of women that have been leading from the heart and have changed their lives and have moved from one sphere to another sphere. And that is what we intend doing and intend bringing to South Africa. Very much we all know the words, and if you don't, please do have a look at the words of Marianne Williamson, where she says, "You acting small does not serve the world." When you liberate yourself, you give others permission to do so. And as a chapter, we want to liberate everyone, one story at a time, one person at a time. And the liberation actually starts from within.
It remains our mission, it remains our commitment to stop fighting the old and start creating the new.
To step into our leadership and create a new mindset of equality, of compassion, of respect, of empathy, courage, bravery, collaboration, and co-creation.
We remain committed to accelerate and redirect change by using our feminine values and our feminine energy.
To collectively reshape the future and recreate societies.
And ladies and gentlemen, we remain committed to creating a better, more sustainable world for our generation and for generations to come. We hope that you will continue to share your authentic stories with us. We are truly in it to make an impact in the world, one story at a time. We believe that there's still a multitude of stories still to be told that will help us to connect, that will inspire us, and that will liberate us all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Miss Natasha Pillay, our new ambassador. We wish you well in your role.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to just working together with you in your leadership.